Well, Patrick Chan is constantly training, both at the gym and on the ice. And his years of hard work have paid off. At 22, he's already won 6 national titles and 2 world championships. But now Chan is working toward a much bigger prize. Out of the deep talent pool that is and has always seemed to be men's figure skating in Canada, there is one on the cusp of standing out. The star who, if everything goes as planned, could do what Orser, Browning, Stoyko, Buttle and others, none of Canada's world champions were able to accomplish.
I'm starting to feel the build of the Olympics.
The spotlight on Patrick Chan more intense than ever, because the Sochi Games are just 12 months away. Is the gold medal always on your mind?
Always. Always.
Doesn't that like put too much pressure on you?
I've gone to sleep some nights and thought about it and said, how am I going to deal with all the pressure when I get there? And lately I've been trying to just put it off and not think about it, but eventually I'm going to have to deal with the expectation that that I'm putting on myself. We've never won a gold medal in men's figure skating. We've come so close with Brian Orser and Elvis Stoyko with silver, but never able to win gold, and I hope to do that.
It's weird, isn't it? I mean, Canada has had men win the world championships many times. You've won a couple.
Yes.
But we haven't won that gold medal in men's figure skating. Why do you think that is?
Think about how much we train and all the years that we spend skating. I'm in my 16th year of skating, and we spend days and hours every day to train just for 6 minutes of the judges' time to watch us skate and the audience time. And it's a lot of expectations just to be able to do it on that day. On that day, every 4 years, on that exact moment, you have to lay it down. It's not like we have 18 holes or we have 4 quarters to do what we have to do and maybe make a comeback. There's no comeback in figure skating. There's only perfection.
A few people that might want to have a few words.
Chan is barely 22 years old, and yet this moment has been a long time coming.
Congratulations.
He's been skating since the age of 5, rising quickly up the ranks, gaining national and international accolades early, and winning his first Canadian title when he was just 17, the youngest men's champion this country has ever seen.
A teenage titan who has arrived.
Since capturing his 2nd world title last year, Chan has changed coaches, faltered a bit in competition, raising some concern, even if a 6th national crown last month was a bit of a foregone conclusion. The national championships that you won, was that a medal performance? Was that a gold medal performance at the Olympics? Would that have been good enough?
No. I knew the minute I stepped off that ice, I was happy. I was happy that I somewhat had an idea that I was going to win my 6th national title, but I was also disappointed in myself because I knew I could have done better, and the last 2 national championships I had flawless skates. Almost since 2008 I've had really good skates at the national championships. I've been so used to that, and I've had that expectation for myself that when I wasn't able to do that, I didn't keep my focus to the end of the program, and I've had to deal with a lot of things this season that I was disappointed with the way I skated because I knew it wasn't an Olympic or World Championship performance.
You know, you mentioned just there, and you mentioned it right after the performance, that you didn't keep your focus. Like, how does that happen? First of all, how do you keep your focus?
I think Wayne Gretzky said it the best, that when you're in the zone, focus can equate to being in the zone. I remember Wayne said it's everything slowed down, and he could see everything in slow motion, so he could see the whole play unfold the way he wanted it to. And I think I can kind of see that. I've experienced it once in a while. Being in the moment, it's really special because everything's going so fluid and you're not thinking about anything. Your mind's at peace. You're really in the present.
I want you to take me through those 6 minutes in a way, not on the actual performance, but in terms of what's going on in your head. When we're watching you, and even for those who only watch you once a year with the Worlds or once every 4 years at an Olympic performance, in those seconds before start, and you're skating towards your starting point.
World Championships on the line. All the other gold medals at home. This whole season don't matter.
We're dying inside. Like, we're nervous. We've got butterflies. Like, God, is he going to be able to do it? What's happening to you?
That's actually something I've been working on for a long time. I like to say that when you're competing, it's becomes 90% mental and only 10% physical, and it truly is, because you can feel physically great, you can be healthy, but then the minute you step out on the ice and you're by yourself and it's dead quiet, you can start thinking things that will make you feel afraid. We have, as a human being, I think we have a flight or fight, and you want to fight. You want to have that fight mentality, not the flight mentality.
Clean quad, perfect.
Talk to me about a quad. What happens to you and what you're thinking? I mean, I still can't even count them, watching them. But you obviously are doing that. I mean, what's going on in your mind on those 4 revolutions?
The 4 revolutions happen in less than a second, so you're not really thinking of anything. I don't even think a thought is created in that moment, but a lot of thoughts go through my mind before the jump. A lot of things, like the pattern. Some things that people don't see on TV is that we have to make sure our entrance is right.
Carving his way into the quadruple toe loop combination.
It may be the same as aerialists when they have to take the ramp. They can't take it on the wrong angle, or else it may ruin the whole jump.
Now, that landing you make look so graceful, and yet I read somewhere that the force of that landing is like 8 times your body weight. It's like dropping a refrigerator onto the ice.
Yeah.
So you've got to absorb that drop.
Yes. Yeah.
And carry on flawlessly and gracefully.
It's very interesting because my right quad is 4 times larger than my left quad, because my right leg is my landing leg, and that's where all the weight is coming down onto that one leg.
So now his second quad coming up next must be done in combination. Perfect.
I admire the human body for being able to do that, and but it takes a lot of good technique as well. You're almost catching yourself on the way down and feathering it with your knee and your hip, and what makes those forces feel much less abrupt than what they actually sound like.
The right skate, then the left. It's a ritual, not superstition. Chan likes to believe he knows what works. You've got, obviously, a coach, you have a trainer, but you haven't gone the route of having the sort of
psychologist,
sports psychologist, and instead you rely on some of the past champions, whether it's Stoico or Kurt Browning.
Yeah. One of my first coaches was Mr. Coulson, and he's a legend in figure skating. He was very smart, and he could almost foresee the future, I felt like. And he once said that once you have a sports psychologist, it's almost, you may as well pack up your bags. That's what he said. And so I guess I never really believed in it. I don't feel comfortable with speaking to someone that doesn't really understand the sport, or doesn't understand what we actually go through.
The next year is critical for Chan, including how he prepares off the ice. Doing sports like mountain biking, at high altitudes, at home in Colorado. Good for endurance, to help get through those long 6-minute programs. And of course, more traditional gym workouts too. When he can, Chan trains with one of Canada's best.
That was perfect.
Yeah?
Yeah, one more.
And those conversations with Andy O'Brien, well, they always seem to veer towards the guys wearing those other skates.
Although
But still,
I know
2 goals.
Two goals in the last few minutes.
they're struggling. Edmonton's fun to watch right now.
Your trainer also trains Sidney Crosby, and so I'm sure you're hearing all kinds of hockey stories. But you actually wanted, as a kid, to be a hockey player, right?
Yes.
And now do you still watch hockey and sort of think about that?
Passionately. To this day, I think like a month ago, I got mad at my mom. It's a regular happening where I go to my mom. I'm like, "Why didn't you put me into hockey?" It kills me sometimes, and I think it upsets her and it hurts her. But I think it's just out of frustration. And I did start figure skating because I wanted to play hockey. I had a interest in hockey, and I still do. I'm very passionate about it. It's so much fun. It's a great game.
What's the end game for you? What's the goal?
Olympic gold. Olympic gold. Olympic gold in Sochi, and I do want to change the sport in some way in Canada and inspire people to maybe watch it more or understand how difficult it is and how beautiful and gracious and athletic the sport of figure skating is.
Chan has visited Sochi and skated on the ice, where he'll go for gold next year. He talks about that and much more in the full interview on this week's One-on-One, to be seen at the time shown right there on your screen.